see in the realm of the spirit, he says to me, Hinn says to me, I've got 11 days left on earth. Mark and put a premium on words, but put a premium on the interpretation that pertains to the words themselves. There is a consensus that we have as God's children as well as brethren, that each and every time people meet in a prophetic environment, they ought to adjure the heavenly mercies to operate in their lives and invite heaven to ensure that as they congregate, great things unfold, and also that everything that emanates from that congregation occurs in accordance with the script of God and not with the script of men. So I greet you, brethren. I welcome you to this wonderful channel, the channel of your choice, the channel of heaven's choice, God's favorite channel here on YouTube. I thank you all for clicking subscribe to this channel, for following this channel attentively. God is blessing you and He's meeting you at your point of need. You would notice that there has been quite some tremendous growth in as far as our channel is concerned. And I'm thanking God for this great move. There is a move of the Spirit which is enormous, which is occurring in our time. And this is also even reflective in the attendances. Imagine recently we had our 3-day crusade. It was massive. God did massive miracles, manifestations of a great nature were occurring at the Grand Villion. So we are at the Grand Villion and we are inviting you to make a day to the Grand Villion where miracles happen, where things are happening. Destinies are being changed. Okay? Miracles are coming through at an accelerated pace. Healings occurred during the 3-day crusade. And even before I left for the UAE, many people were testifying concerning God's grace in that particular locality. So God's manifestation is also tied to localities also. There are places which God has set up specifically for your breakthrough, specifically for your miracle. So I'm here today to encourage you to make a day to the Grand Villion. This is the time. This is your moment. No other moment is going to come which looks exactly like it. So you want to come to a place where even if as you see a vision, and I've been teaching about how it is that people can actually enter into the realms of visions, into the realms of the prophetic. Interesting lessons there. But what I want you to notice now is to say, the moment God gives you access to visions, all right, you need to take cognizance of the environment wherein that grace operated. You need to take cognizance and also write notes concerning the environment where such manifestations were being experienced, because it's very important for you to take cognizance of that environment, because repetition of visions is also tied to your being cognizant of the environment. For you to attract the same grace, you need to be cognizant of that environment. There are environments that also attract the miraculous. There are environments that attract visions. There are environments which are conducive for certain visions. You see, when you look at Moses, you see there was a burning bush there, and then God is speaking through the bush. And the bush is not burning, but there is fire there. You see, so there are localities. When I was in the UAE, I remember one of the days I was getting to desert safari, and we were with some Ugandan couple. I remember very well that it was so impressed upon my spirit that I felt, okay, why am I thinking about numbers, numbers, numbers? And as I was thinking about numbers, the number 2 was like, boom, on my heart like this. And this is me asking God, what could be the reason why this number is impressed on my spirit? And why now? And the Lord ministered to me and said, there's a couple besides you. That number, it signifies something that is very true about their lives. And as I did some spiritual searching, because in my mind, I was now so particular about that number, and I wanted to know what that number signified. And the Lord said to me, there are 2 children. All right, there's a boy and then there's a girl. So when you hear 2, it is a chord that must be cracked, which means they have got 2 kids. And immediately the Lord revealed to me some of the challenges that this couple was meeting. And I'm sitting with them. They don't even know that I'm a prophet. You see? And I remember just looking at them, and they wondered, why is he looking at us? And immediately I said, do you know what? I see as though there is something that I need to tell you. They wondered, what is it? So I took my phone, I wrote down the problems they were facing. I also wrote, they have got these 2 children and all this detail. I wrote it on my phone. So I gave them the phone and I locked it. So they didn't see what was written. And I said, hold this phone. How many kids do you have and what kind of challenges are you? They detailed it. And I said, can you open the phone? It was exactly like it, 100%. You see, so sometimes you need to be activated spiritually, not by what you hear, but where you are. Sometimes localities can cause certain things to occur and allow you to experience certain graces. Oh, I know somebody might be missing me now, but I want you to understand this spiritual truth. All right. And I remember I was staying at a hotel. I think it is Omega Hotel, Bar Dubai. This other day, I'm in my bed and I start to see a vision while I'm on my bed, and I'm just seeing this name. It's repeatedly occurring to my vision. You see, and I'm asking myself, what's the relevance of this name? And so what I then did the next day, I went to this place. There's this place they call Amani Hotel. So while I'm there, I meet one of my daughters there, and I'm just saying, okay, could this be the person? And boom, I had a confirmation. So I spoke about the name I had seen, and she's like, okay, those are my roots. Actually, this name you're talking about, he has got 120% relevance to me because these are my roots back in Africa. So imagine how it is that God can reveal to you things that relate even to the past, even to people's genealogies. So visions are real. Visions are real. And a couple of days ago, I had an encounter with a very popular man of God. He came to me in a vision. And I'm seeing him. He loves wearing white. And this is a man that I know. I can perceive him in the vision. So in a vision, you need perception. And God will give you that ability to perceive if you ask for it. So I know this man, and I can tell in the physical, I have never met this man. But in the spirit, it is my first time to meet him. And it was just a conversation. He says to me, there's something that I'm going to tell you. What could be the story? I wonder. Because his stature in the spirit and how I consider him juxtaposed with me there, you can see that there's an imbalance. He's too big for me when I look at him in terms of this physical. Spiritually, he is a father. But when you see him, you see this. He's always wearing white suits, and that's Benny Hinn, Pastor Benny Hinn, and doesn't preach in this continent. I have seen him. He preaches in the West, but this is a minister whose revelation, if you catch it, it can cause changes. And I know a lot of people follow Pastor Benny Hinn. Great exploits in the area of healing and teaching. Not necessarily a prophet, but somebody who specializes in a gift of healing, in a gift of miraculous, strange miracles, respected in pastoral circles. And he begins articulating to me his story, and he gives me days. And this is what then causes me to be worried, because he gives me a specific number of days that he is supposed to be on earth, left for him. And he said, I only have got, now mark this, because this is where I think the entire prophetic word is going to hinge on. Because he gives me a specific number and he counts days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At 11 he stops and he tells me, I only have got 11 days left on earth. Now let me tell you this. Somebody is going to be hurriedly taking that part, and I know people who do that. They'll take that part, count 11 days. Guess what? They'll say, oh, this is what he says. Now, it's not going to be, it hasn't happened, or it hasn't happened in accordance to the number of days. But you have to notice something. In the vision, he tells me these are 11 days. In my spirit, I feel he needs prayer. And as I feel that, he also tells me, you see, you need to pray for me, because I've got 11 days exactly left on earth. This is Pastor Benny Hinn. He says 11 days. And I get so worried, because this is a minister. I've listened to Benny Hinn's preachings online. I've watched him. No doubt about it, an anointed man. But as I'm looking at him, he looks even worried. He looks, you know how it is when a policeman requires another policeman, because you enter a different jurisdiction. This is exactly what I'm seeing. So I'm shocked, because I've been given days, and I'm wondering, what am I supposed to do if at all I can do anything within the 11 days? I should. And immediately another woman appears there. She says to me, you know what, prophet, I've got what I call 7 days left for me on earth. 7 days. And I'm looking at her. How could it be that God allows you to know that it's exactly 7 days left? 7 days left on earth. So this is not just a Benny Hinn thing. It's also this woman's thing. But in the spirit, whilst I am in the vision, I can't even recognize the woman. I can't recognize the woman. Who is she? What relevance does she carry to me as a minister? And why am I encountering this woman? It might be that there is this woman who has seen it in the spirit and is watching this video live. I'm going to pray for you. But now, it might be the time for you to be doing more prayers for yourself in preparation for the next realm. Now, the realm that we're talking about is not a difficult realm per se. It's a better realm than the realm that we are in. So I don't look at it like this and start crying after the vision. Of course, I get worried in the vision, but after the vision, my mind is operating. I know it's not really a bad thing for somebody to graduate into another realm. All right. I have at some point in time prophesied locally, even to some men of God who are in Zimbabwe. I remember prophesying about Pastor Ruth Makandiwa, I remember that. And I said, you see, be careful. So it's not like every time you mention a thing, I'm saying it for a purpose. It's for the edification of the saints. So if I am to look at it from a spiritual perspective, there is Pastor Benny Hinn there. There is time there. Time and him are racing against each other. And ought we to pray? Yes, we ought to pray. Yes, we ought to fast. Yes, we ought to intercede for the men of God. So this is what I'm seeing. I see in the realm of the spirit. He says to me, Benny Hinn says to me, I've got 11 days left on earth. Mark and put a premium on words, but put a premium on the interpretation that pertains to the words themselves. 11 days for Pastor Benny Hinn. From me, PAJ, the rest of my broadcasting crew here at PAJ and the New Creation, I am out. Adios.